Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to be subtracting whole numbers. Our I can statement is I can use the standard algorithm to place value to subtract whole numbers. In this lesson, we're going to use the skills that we've learned in previous lessons and apply the strategies learned to subtract whole numbers. In your slides, you're given various anchor charts. You have subtraction strategies on this anchor chart. And if you go to page 2, you have your prerequisite skills for place value and lesson vocabulary. Standard algorithm is a step-by-step way to solve a problem. Place value, the numerical value that a digit has because of its position in a number. Regrouping, the process of changing groups of ones into groups of tens. Regrouping is going to be a big part of our lesson because we are going to be working with multi-digit numbers. 2 more anchor charts that go with the lesson. Subtraction with regrouping again. The rule is more on top, no need to stop. More on the floor, go next door to get 10 more. And numbers the same, zero's the game. Please refer to this chart when doing your classwork. All right, now watch me do it. I just put a picture here. I didn't put the whole entire page, but I put the measurements of the things we need. So when you are watching me do the lesson, don't think I forgot the other part of the page. I just screenshotted it to make it smaller and retyped the question here so it would be clearer. All right, 3 of the country's most scenic national parks are in Alaska. How much larger is the area of the Gates of Arctic than the combined area of Denali and Kenya Fjords? All right, now we're gonna say to ourselves, what is this question asking me to do and how am I gonna do it? Well, to solve any type of word problem, we need to use the cube strategy, meaning circle, underline, box, evaluate, and solve. So in order to do that, we need to reread the problem at least twice. 3 of the country's most scenic national parks are in Alaska. How much larger is the area of Gates of the Arctic than the combined area of Denali and Kenya Fjords? All right. Now, if we look at our graph or our chart that we have here, we see we have a picture of Alaska with the 3 measurements that we need. We have Gates of Arctic, which is 34,287 square kilometers. Denali, which is 19,122 square kilometers. Kenya Fjords, which is 2,771 square kilometers. And now we have to evaluate. So we have our 3 measurements. Now we have to say to ourselves, what are we being asked to do first? What are we being asked to do first? Well, we're going to go back into the problem. How much larger is the area of the Gates of Arctic than the combined area of Denali and Kenya Fjords? Well, we cannot find how much larger the area of the Gates of Arctic is until we find the combined area of Denali and Kenya Fjords. So I am going to go into my word problem. I'm going to highlight the given information. Let's highlight this. This will help us identify the information needed. All right. So first we need to find the total area of Denali and Kenya Fjords. Denali is 19,120 and Kenya Fjords is 2,771. If we are finding the combined or total, we know that we are going to have to add. Oh boy. I am using addition in a problem. I have to make sure that my place values are lined up correctly. If my place values are not lined up correctly, you are going to add the wrong numbers and therefore get the wrong answer. In this case, 19,000 has a number in the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s place, that 2,771 does not have. So like any other number, we're going to line up the 1 digits first. All right. Now, let's look at our problem. Bear with me because it is very hard to type addition on a keyboard. All right, first we're going to add 1 and 0, and we get 1. That is our ones place. Next, we have 7 plus 2, and we get 9. So we're moving over to our ones, tens, hundreds place value to get 8, because 7 plus 1 is 8. Inserting our comma. Now, here we have regrouping, because we have 9 and 2. When we add 9 and 2 up together, we get 11. So when we add this number up, we're going to have to carry the 1 into the next place value. Our 1 goes under the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands place value. And then we carry our other 1 and we place it up here. Because we have to keep in mind and remember that if when we're adding, if that number does not get added to our value, then we're not going to have the correct answer. So there is no number here. It's blank because 2,771 does not have a number in the 10,000s place. So we add the 1 plus the 1 we carried and we get 2. So when we go back to the original question, which is find the total area of Denali and Kenya Fords, we added the 2 numbers and got 21,891. That is the total area. Not total. That is the total of these 2 numbers. Now we need to take the total, which is 21,891, and we need to find the difference of the total area, which is 21,891, and subtract it from the Gates of Arctic. We're doing this because we need to find the difference. When you're finding the difference, it's subtraction. That is a key word that we know. When we look at difference, it means to subtract. All right, so bear with me as I type this up. We know that the Gates of Arctic is 34,287, which is the larger number. We put that on top, and we're going to subtract 21,000. Sorry, my comma. 21,891 from that number. Now, if you take notice, these 2 total numbers have the same place value representation. So we have the same amount of digits and the same amount of place values, which is different than here. So again, we are finding the difference. So we are subtracting. All right. So we set our equation up properly, our larger number on top. Now we're going to subtract 21,891 from 34,287. You start in your ones place always. You start with the smallest digit and move to the left. Now, 7 minus 1 is 6, which we know because 7 is a larger number. Now, when we move to the tens place, 9 is larger than 8, so we have to borrow. When we look to the place value next to us, we have the number 2. Now, a little trick that I like to always tell myself is to look at this number holistically, meaning 8 is larger than 2, so you're going to have to borrow again. So it makes sense to go over 2 place values and borrow from the 4. So I'm going to cross out the 4, borrow a 10. So if I'm borrowing a whole 10, it's 4,000 now becomes 3,000. I give that 10 to my hundreds place, which now becomes a 12. But remember, The point of borrowing is because 9 was larger than 8. So that 12 now becomes an 11 because we're borrowing that 10 to the next place value. All right, so let's recap what I just did. I borrowed from the 4, which is in the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands place. I borrowed a 10, carried it over to the hundreds place, which then became a 12. Now remember, our original number that we needed to add a 10 to was our 8. So I borrowed another 10 and carried it over. So 8 now became 18. I can now correctly subtract the number 9 from 18. It becomes 9. We have 11 in our hundreds place. So 11 minus 8 is 3. Three minus 1 is 2. And 3 minus 2 is 1. Let's just change the formatting on that. Again, it's difficult to write with a keyboard. And look at our final answer. So 12,396. The difference of the total area of Denali and Kenya Fords and the gates of Arctic. Now, when we get the answer 12,396, we need to check our work. Checking our work means we take the total number that we got from finding the difference, adding it back into one of our numbers, the smaller number, 21,891, and that number should be 34,287. So in order to check our work, we're going to use our inverse operation. I'm going to write check my work. So I'm going to take 21,891 plus 12,396, and that should answer our question and get 34,287. All right, let's add this together. Six plus 1 is 7. 9 plus 9 is 18. Carry the 1. So 9 and 9 is 18. We carried the 1 to the hundredth place. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Going to put our 2 in our hundredths place. And again, carry the 1. So 2 plus 1 is 4. And 3. So when we checked our work, we added up the difference, which was 12,396, our smaller number, and we got the correct answer, which is 34,287. So again, when you check your work, you use the inverse operation, which is one of our vocabulary words. Operations that undo each other. There is an example on the vocabulary word that you could check if you're struggling. So our original question was, how much larger is the gates of Arctic than the combined area of Denali and Kenya Fords? Step 1, found the total area. Step 2, we found the difference. And step 3, we checked our work. Good job, boys and girls. I hope this video helped your understanding, and please look at the lesson for additional resources, and don't forget your exit ticket.